Jesus arrived close to Bethany. Martha came to meet him, and said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother had not died. But also now I know that God will give you all, whatever you will ask from God." Does Martha really know what Jesus can do? Do we know what Jesus can do? Jesus said to Martha that Lazarus will rise up. Martha answered to Jesus, "I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Martha knew that Lazarus will rise up on the day of the resurrection. The understanding of Martha was right, but she didn't know that Lazarus would be restored to life from the dead in very same day. We also know that God can do miracles. But we also set the possibilities of God's action afar into the future, and often we don't believe that God functions today. He works now, and of course, also in the coming days. God wants to teach to us, by way of Lazarus, that God functions today. He has the ability to function in the future, but he functions today also. He can do his work now. Do you believe this? Jesus said to Martha, "I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever lives and believes in me shall never die." Do you believe this? Martha answered to Jesus, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world." Jesus meant that not any condition or matter of life is impossible for God to change. Not even the dead are dead if they believe to Jesus. Jesus knew that Lazarus was not dead, only his body was dead, but he himself was alive. Martha knew that Jesus is the Son of God. We also know that Jesus is the Son of God. But do we know what Jesus can do? Firstly, we must know that Jesus is the Son of God, but after that, Jesus wants to teach to us what he can do. This also that we believe, and we will understand that he is able to change our lives in accordance with the will of God. Jesus can remove all hindrances from our lives, which prevent us from believing and serving God. When Jesus arrived in Bethany, he met Mary and many Jews. Jesus saw Mary and the crying crowd because of her weeping, and the weeping of the Jews who came down with her. Jesus wept. Then Jesus asked, "Where have you put him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." And then Jesus cried. To this the Jews said, "Behold how he loved him." Jesus was earlier said that this is not sickness to death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God be glorified by it. Jesus knew that all is well with Lazarus. Jesus cried because of the pain and distress which Mary and the other Jews felt as a result of the death of Lazarus. Jesus saw their pain and distress, and he took part in their pain by crying. How great is Jesus! He really takes part also in your pain and your distress. Jesus will come into your life and heal your pain and distress, which is in your heart. He comes to you on the day when the possibilities of your flesh have completely finished, that his glory can be revealed to this world. Wait for Jesus. He cries with you in your distress. Wait. He comes certainly into your life. Those tears which flow from the heart of Jesus announce freedom, and bring freedom to your life, freedom from the slavery of the sins. Few Jews which were on the tomb of Lazarus said, Could not this man, which opened the eyes of the blind, have caused that even this man should not have died?" And when Jesus heard this, he groaned in the spirit, and troubled himself, and went to the tomb, which was a cave, and in front of the cave was a big stone. The Jews thought that if Jesus had been in Bethany, he would have been able to prevent the death of Lazarus. In this they were right, but Jesus can do greater works, as we can believe. Jesus wants to teach us that he can do more, and what we can understand. And when we understand this, so we can believe, and let him do his works in our life.